Greetings, this is Education Alive with your facilitator, Sully. In this video we'll be looking at Inventor 2021. We're going to make some assumptions that you know nothing about Inventor at all. In fact, you could well know nothing about CAD. This could be your first go. Maybe you've played around with something before, maybe you've had a bit of a go on SketchUp, but you're starting brand new. We're also assuming that you've downloaded Inventor. You've got the software and you're ready to have a crack. Okay, our learning goal is to sketch and extrude an entity. As basic as that. We'll do a little bit of problem solving around that, some things that could possibly go wrong, but that's it. Our scope is extremely limited. The video is not an intense lesson. It's no way meant to be. The video is just a walkthrough to get you to do these basic functions in CAD. Having said that, we're going to walk past some very interesting things. That will be the topics of later videos. Just want to get you in, have a go, get your hands dirty. That's it for an intro, guys. I'll see you in there. Okay team, first things first, double left click on the icon. Okay team, this is our first page. We're not going to worry too much about this page. We're probably going to skip straight past, but we've got all the icons up here. Probably the only one I will point out is the tutorial gallery. That one's actually quite interesting, but over here we're going to click new. So left click, new, and now we've got the templates page up. So just drag this up here. So we've got a few choice of templates here. We're going to stick to metric, left click, and standard IPT millimeter. This is basically my preference because I work in millimeters, and IPT stands for Inventor Part File. Double click. Okay, so here we are on another page. We're getting closer to the page where we do the doing. So if we have a look, a little bit scary this page. We've got icons everywhere. We've got lots of things to snap on, to click to, lots of things to confuse us. But the main thing to remember here is the most important icons are always at the left. The ones we are going to use are going to be at the left, and these ones are a little bit more sophisticated, and we'll probably be using these later on, maybe, depending on what you want to get out of Inventor. We've also got a lot of drop-down menus here, and again, as you go further to the right, they're a little bit more specialized. So the more common things you're going to use, again, always at the left. So the first part we've got to do is start a sketch. Everything in Inventor revolves around having a sketch and then extruding it. Then the sketch is consumed. So it's critical, got to learn how to sketch. Let's click on here. The first thing you get when you left click on sketch is you can do a 2D sketch and a 3D sketch. Don't be playing around with a 3D sketch. We are wanting to do 2D sketches. I don't really want to be going into 3D sketches, and quite frankly, you could probably spend a lot of time in Inventor not even going there. So here we go guys, left click, bang, and now we've got this thing up here. This is basically the planes of the universe. So I'm going to click on the XY plane. You can click on any of these. It's probably not going to matter too much. Makes a bit of a difference when you start doing multiple items that you start drawing. You might want them all to line up on a plane, but for us it really doesn't matter. I always click the XY plane. It's just what I do. Double click, and here we are. We've got our first sketch page open up. So what we're going to do on here is start our sketching. So here we go. Go up and click on line. When we click on line, you'll notice that the cursor has changed. It's a star pattern now. That's basically telling us that we're in the line mode. If we want to get out of the line mode, we hit escape and we go back to our normal cursor. So keep that in mind. Escape is used quite often too. So we click on line and then we left click on the screen, drag across, left click again, and we've drawn our first line. Right guys, now we've drawn our first line, let's delete a couple of lines. So I've already deleted mine. So line, left click, drag along, Let's put one on an angle. Notice that it's still trying to draw another line there, that's fine. You see it wants to click on the end of that line. Left click, then hit escape. So there we go, we've drawn a figure. I guess the best part now is learning how to delete that. So hold down the left click, do a whole square, hit delete, and the line's gone. So if we make a mistake, we can just delete a line. So here we go again, line, drawn, escape, delete. Excellent. Go again, draw a line, left click, escape. Now, one thing to be careful of when you're going to delete a line, if we select this line here, we've also selected that center dot. If we go delete, that center dot is gone. Now, don't want to go into it now, but that is a thing that we don't want to do for later on, because that becomes our reference point and we can't find it. So all we've got to do now is select up here, go back, there's our dot back, and another way to delete, we can just right click on there and delete. So we should be pretty good at drawing our lines now. Now we're going to draw our I-beam. We're going to put it all together and we're going to make a nice geometric shape. So let's get our line. I'm going to draw it up here. Go across, going to keep it flat. You'll notice that that line, if I go off the horizontal, it will actually want to clip back. So it wants to draw straight lines, and that's handy. Click, down, click, click, and keep going. We just have to be pretty rough with this one, guys. We're not looking for any specific measurements. There's a few things going on. I'll explain that later on. But for now, I just want to draw my I-beam. So there we go. Complete I-beam. There's a few things going on with these little icons around here. If you want, we can actually turn those off. They're what we call constraints. If we go down to this button down here, it's going to hide all constraints. We will learn about constraints later on. So there we go. We've done our first sketch. Everything's all enclosed. There's no gaps, and that's important because if there is a gap, we're going to have trouble later on. Let's finish this sketch. Turns on a bit of an angle, and now we've got a new menu. So we've done our sketch. Now we're going to work on that sketch. So the most basic thing we do is extrude. When I hit extrude, you'll see that this sketch will actually get some depth. There we go. It's out at 10 millimeters. That's just pretty random. I might just change that. Change it to 2. There. And we've got our first entity. Right guys, some of you mightn't have got this far. So what I want to do is go back and check out the sketch. Now to do this simply, I'm just going to hit the back button, back, back again, and here I am at the sketch. We've got the finish sketch option up there, so we're totally out of the extrude. Now I'm just going to left click that line and hit delete. I'm going to finish sketch, then I'm going to try and extrude. Now you can see the extrude function here has got confused. It's trying to extrude this line, not the whole inner shape of this eye. It's basically saying that it's not a complete entity. It's not closed off. So I'm going to cancel the extrude. I don't want it. I'm going to go back to the drawing, just clicking back. And what I'm going to do is click this front so I can see the front. And I'm going to select my line. I'm going to grab that line and snap that line onto there. So now we've got a complete eye. So when I finish the sketch now, I hit extrude, out it comes. So I can just hit OK. I've already got my 2 millimeters here. You can just highlight that and change that. Let's make it 3. OK. And there's my eye. Now, the thing comes that we want to move that eye around. We want to have a look at it. So the first option is to hold down the Shift key, then hold down your mouse scroll wheel key, or your mouse scroll wheel, we get that little round thing come up, and as we slide the mouse around, we can just roll that eye to anywhere we want to have a look at it. So have a go at that, guys. So you can't see it, but shift key down, scroll wheel down, move it all around. Conversely, if we just move the scroll wheel in and out, we get a zoom, which is handy. And if we just hold the scroll wheel down with no shift key, we get to move this object all around the screen. That's generally the way that I've used this thing. Previous to having all the mouse functions, we had this block up here. So if I hit the back, it's going to show me the back. I can turn that round with these little clicks here. Bottom, spin it round, such forth, click the home key and go back to home. So that's just some really basic navigation. So hopefully guys, you've got to this point, you've got your I-beam. If it hasn't worked, try starting again, try drawing your line. Draw your lines, make sure they're fully closed and just hit extrude. While you're at it, draw a couple of other random shapes and try to get them to extrude. Once you get that far, we're good. That's the learning outcome achieved. That's it for today. I'll see you next lesson. Bye.